Okay. Time to film this next
Well,
video.
well, well. If it isn't the guy that thought the New York Knicks were going to
What?
be bad this season.
Where's that voice coming from?
I'm inside your head. That's where I am. You dick. You thought the Knicks were going to be pretenders? Well, you fool.
What? No. Simple mistake, really. It was just a small misunderstanding.
The Knicks are going to be the best team in the Eastern Conference. They're going to make it to the finals, and you didn't believe in them. How could you? You call yourself an NBA expert? You deserve to get brutally criticized by those New York Knicks fans.
Please. No, they're scary. No. So I think it has been confirmed that I am not a good actor. I don't know what that was. It was quite funny. It's quite funny, wasn't it? Anyway, welcome to the penultimate day 11 of 12 days of Step Back with Zach. And in today's video, I want to discuss the New York Knicks and how I was wrong about them. I can admit when I'm wrong. Before we go any further though, please don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You guys have helped me hit all 3 of my subscriber goals for the year so far, so it feels great that you guys are supporting the channel and continuing to show love. I truly feel super grateful for all of you guys and feeling the Christmas spirit as well. I really do appreciate all you guys so very much. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. So yes, I will straight up say I was wrong about the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks have easily looked like one of the best teams in the NBA as of late, where they currently sit with 120.7 points per game, which is good for 4th in the entire NBA, while also dishing out 27.1 assists as a team, which is good for 9th, and getting an insane 45.9 rebounds per game, which is good for 4th. And with a big help from Mitchell Robinson, this team sits 4th in offensive rebounds per game. They're also really good at not turning the ball over. They sit 3rd in the entire NBA in turnovers with 13.3 only a game. They are also super efficient, where they shoot 48% from the field, which is good for 10th, while making 15.2 3-pointers a game, which is 3rd, and shoot 38.7% on those 3-pointers, which is good for 4th in the entire association. Their advanced stats also look really good, way better than what they were previously in the year, where they sit with the 2nd best offense in the NBA with a rating of 121.7. They are also 11th in defensive rating at 113.3, but although 11th is not the biggest or greatest or jumping off the page stat at you, the crazy thing is this team used to be close to 20th, so they've really ramped up their defense recently, while also having an 8.4 net rating, which is 4th as well in the entire NBA, and they have a plus minus of plus 8.5, which is also good for 4th. All these offensive stats are great, and they only allow their opponents to score 112.3 points per game. When you really think about the fact that this team is headlined by Jalen Brunson, who's a terrible defender, and Karl Anthony Towns, who's also a terrible defender, those defensive numbers are really good. They're also 3rd in assist to turnover ratio and a 7th in true shooting with a 59.8%. They are also 9th in total drives per game where they average 52.5, but they are 4th in makes where they make 12.6 makes a game in those drives, which is good for 4th. This team's also a good catch and shoot team. They sit 4th in the entire NBA where they score 35.6 points per game off catch and shoots. And with this, they shoot it at a 38.7% clip. 11.7 of their makes on catch and shoot shots come from beyond the arc, which is also 4th. And they do this on a very efficient 39.2% clip, which is good for 5th. They're also 4th in charges drawn, and Jalen Brunson is really good at drawing charges. Now, they are 9-1 over their last 10 games, which is tied with the OKC Thunder as the best in the NBA over the last 10, and they are currently on a 6-game winning streak, which is also tied for 1st in the entire NBA alongside the Denver Nuggets, which is crazy in itself, by the way, but we're not talking about the Nuggets. Like I said earlier, they did start a little bit slow, where they started the season going 2-3, but since then have gone 17-4. And with this record, they are incredible at home, absolutely dominant, which surprises no one because Madison Square Garden is a nut house. They are currently 13-1 at home. However, they do struggle on the road where they are currently 5-6. And last night they had a game against the Indiana Pacers on the road, which they only just won on a Jalen Brunson game winner. But yeah, man, these team stats look really good. And speaking of Jalen Brunson, he is the head of the snake over there in New York. He is the team's best player. He is the team's captain. As Josh Hart likes to call him, he's the captain of New York. He has been so good. He's currently sitting with a career high 28.8 points per game, albeit only a career high by 0.1, while also grabbing 3.1 boards and dishing out close to 6.5 assists per contest, while getting a little over 2 turnovers a game. He does this on splits of 48.7% from the field, 37.6% from 3, and 83.8% from the foul line for a 60.2% true shooting. And he does all this in 35 minutes a night. He himself has a 126 offensive rating and a 114.3 defensive rating. For Jalen Brunson, that's not too bad, and has a total net rating of 11.7. This dude, he's the best small guard in the league, and he's debatably the best point guard out east. It's between him and Cade. I'm not going to say anything here. I love Cade, and I think Jalen Brunson's been really solid as well. However though, for being that small, he averages just shy of 11 points per game in the paint. And what helps him get this is the fact that he has an incredible step through that just usually works on so many people, and his pump fake is absolutely lethal. He's got a really quick first step, and he's able to really put his shoulder into you. For being small, he's quite stocky, so he's quite strong. And when he's getting to the paint, he's shooting an incredible 73.2% at the rim. For being 6'2", Jalen Brunson, you're not kidding anyone, mate. You are 6 feet at most. This number is incredible. He's also only 17th in the NBA in terms of usage percentage, where he sits with a 30.7%. And that's kind of crazy. When you think Jalen Brunson, you know him to have the ball in his hands a lot. And when Jalen Brunson is on the court, the Knicks are 12.3 points per 100 possessions better. And like I said when I started this Jalen Brunson segment, he is an incredible leader, the captain of New York. Next, I want to talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, Karl-Anthony Towns, in my eyes this season, has been fairly disappointing. He's averaging 2 less points per game than he did last season, where last season he averaged 24.4. This season he's averaging 22.4. If you couldn't do that math. He is averaging 11.9 rebounds, which again is down from last season, and 3.2 assists, which is basically the same as last season. On a career low 47.4% from the field, and a decent 36% from 3, which is the second lowest of his entire career. It's the lowest since his rookie season. But he is averaging a career high 88.2% from the free throw line. All of this is on a 61% true shooting, which for a big man is kind of depressing, and this is also the second lowest of his entire career. He still makes dumb fouls, where he's averaging 3.4 fouls a game, but he is sitting with a 122 offensive rating and a 111.4 defensive rating. So this is a 10.6 net rating in total. Like I said, he has been disappointed. He started the season really slow due to a couple factors. I don't really remember what they are. I think he had a quad strain or a calf strain or something. Something happened in his personal life. But in the first 11 games of the season, he averaged just north of 20 points per game on 42.9% from the field and 32.7% from 3. Shooting 43% from the field as a 7-footer is fucking insane. I don't know how that can happen. On a below league average 57.3% true shooting. I did talk about this in my Pretenders and Contenders video, where I had the Knicks as pretenders, and it was mostly because of the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns has been disappointing, or was disappointing. Since then, he has jumped those averages up to 24.2 points per game on 51% from the field and 38.6% from 3 on a much better 64% true shooting. He has had a couple stinkers in there, however, but that jump has been amazing, and it's a big reason why the Knicks have looked so much better recently. He has shot more threes this season than any other spot from the field. He shot more threes than he shot shots at the rim. Kind of crazy. But we know Karl-Anthony Towns loves shooting those 3-pointers. But yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns, you're a big reason that the New York Knicks have looked so much better this season. Hopefully you get over that calf injury quickly, because it's been cool to see you out there, although you're still ass at defense. But when we talk about the fact that he doesn't shoot shots at the rim, when he does, he shoots a bad 61.3% at the rim. Again, this dude's big. He's 7 feet tall, and he is shooting 61% at the rim. Not good enough. And for taking as many jump shots as he does, he only makes them at a clip of 35.2%. So hopefully with this better season he's having at the moment, those numbers can increase. Next up, I want to talk about the other two players alongside Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns to form the Big Four, where I'm going to start with OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby is definitely the best fourth option in the entire NBA. I do quotation marks because honestly, the fourth option could be either him or Mikal Bridges on any given day. OG Anunoby is currently averaging 16.2 points per game, along with 5.4 rebounds and 2 assists a night. He's also getting 1.9 steals, which is tied for a career high for him, along with 0.7 blocks per contest. If there's anything we know about OG Anunoby, it's that this dude is one of the best wing and perimeter defenders we have in the association. He's currently sitting with a second best of his career, 10.9 plus minus. He has a 123 offensive rating, which is incredible, and an amazing 106 defensive rating, which is top 5 for him in a season. It also places him just outside of the top 10 for defensive rating for a player this season. And all this with a 17 net rating. Incredible. With OG Anunoby on the floor, the New York Knicks outscore their opponents by 16 points per 100 possessions. And when he's off the court, the New York Knicks allow 8 more points per 100 possessions to their opponents. What OG Anunoby has been able to do over there in New York so far, truly incredible stuff. Really, really amazing. Shout out OG. He's just such a good connecting piece and is such a hustler. He never backs down. Whenever he's on the court, he's always giving it his all, and he loves to dunk the damn ball. You will never ever see him go up soft at the rim ever. And speaking of not going soft at the rim, he is shooting 71.6% there. Crazy stuff from OG. Definitely one of my favorite role players in the league. He's just been really good. This New York Knicks team would look so much different without him. Now, finally, the fourth main player on this New York Knicks roster, Mikal Bridges. Averaging 16.6 points per game, along with 4.6 boards and 4.2 assists, to go along with 1.9 steals and 1.1 blocks, which are both career highs for him. Can you imagine having to go up against OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges? That's kind of crazy. That's very scary for opposing teams. He's also shooting the ball so efficiently this season, shooting 52.6% from the field and 40.7% from 3. This is the first time in his career he has ever shot 40+% from beyond the arc, along with an 81.6% free throw percentage for an overall true shooting of 63.1%. He has an offensive rating himself of 122.5 and a defensive rating of 112.8. So a net rating of 9.6. He has, in my opinion, been one of the best defenders in the entire NBA this season. Definitely all defensive caliber so far. Not quite defensive player of the year, but definitely all defensive team. And his shooting, as I said, has improved so much. He looks to be making smarter decisions out there. His shot looks a little bit different than what it did at the start of last season, because what the fuck was that? That was disgusting. He's just looked really, really great. Shout out OG, shout out Mikal. Then I want to talk about who I think are the next two most important pieces on this New York Knicks team. We're going to start with Mitchell Robinson. Now, Mitchell Robinson is such a unique player. Although he is probably the worst free throw shooter and jump shooter in the entire NBA, where he shoots a crazy 22.2% from the foul line, he does still shoot 68.3% from the field. A lot of his shots come around the rim. He is only shooting 65% at the rim though. It's kind of nuts. That's not what we know Mitchell Robinson for. The reason Mitchell Robinson is so important to this team is that he is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. Definitely top 2. I'd put him slightly behind Steven Adams in that regard. He averages 4.6 offensive rebounds per game, which is the second most in the entire NBA, only behind Donovan Clingan and Steven Adams, who are tied with 4.9 per game. Mitchell Robinson has an offensive rebounding percentage of 24.4%, and he does this in 17.5 minutes per game. And so if we round these up to per 36, these numbers look fucking insane. He's averaging, per 36, 9.8 offensive rebounds per game to go along with a 17 rebound per game total. That is insane. Obviously, if he was to play 36 minutes per game, those stats would probably not be that crazy, but just thinking about it is still nuts. He absolutely just changes the dynamic and the way that this Knicks team plays. Always crashing the offensive glass, always giving his team second chance opportunities to lead them to being, will not lead them, but when he's on the court, the team is 10.7 points better per 100 possessions than when he is off the court. Mitchell Robinson is just, like I said, a very unique player. He's strong, he's long, he was able to hold his own against Wembanyama in the cup final, forcing him to do some bad shots. Crazy stuff from Mitchell Robinson. And then the next player I want to talk about is Josh Hart. The heart, ironically, and soul of this New York Knicks team. His value is kind of hard to determine, because if we remember, towards the end of last season, especially in the playoffs and at the start of this season, it was very common for people to talk about Josh Hart needing to be traded. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't in that kind of aspect, just because I love seeing Josh Hart in New York, but I wouldn't have been mad or upset if he were to be traded. However, I don't think the New York Knicks are looking to trade him, especially now. Since entering this starting lineup, the Knicks have gone 9-1. And if we include the NBA Cup final game, they have gone 10-1. And they have looked so incredible. When he was on the bench, he had splits of 10 points, 6.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, on 48% from the field, 35% from 3, and 76.2% from the free throw line, to go along with 0.9 steals in 26.1 minutes per game. But since he's come into the starting lineup, all of these numbers have improved drastically. He's averaging 16 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 6 dimes on 51% from the field, 41% from 3 in just over 5 attempts, and a crazy 87.5% from the free throw line, along with 2.2 steals in just under 35 minutes per game. Josh Hart is one of those energy players who plays with so much heart and puts his absolute all into the game when he's out there. He's one of the best transition players, and if you watch, whenever he is pushing the fast break, he will always dribble with his left hand every single time, even though he's right-handed. He's also easily the best short rebounder in the NBA. He's 6'4", and to be averaging 7.7 rebounds at 6'4" is very impressive. He's also a very underrated defender, in my opinion. He's strong, like I said, 2.2 steals since entering the starting lineup. Shout out Josh Hart. The New York Knicks bench, however, has still looked very subpar, where we thought coming into the season with the acquisitions of Jordan Clarkson, Gershon Yabusele, Malcolm Brogdon, who retired, so he's not able to be there. He would have been great for this New York Knicks team, but can't change that. We thought these additions would look really good and help them bring that bench production that they so desperately needed. However, that has been far from the case. This bench sits 27th in the NBA at 31.1 points per game as a bench unit. They are also 22nd in rebounds and 14th in assists, which is just average. They do protect the ball well, however, where they are only 3rd in turnovers, only getting 4.9 a game. But they are dead last in steals and are 28th in blocks. But what's crazy about those numbers where they're dead last, why did I say those like that? That was weird. What's crazy about those numbers being dead last in steals and 28th in blocks is that they sit 2nd in defensive rating as a bench unit, but they are 28th in offensive rating, but are 8th in net rating. So it's so weird. It's really weird. The advanced stats say that they are okay, where the regular stats say they're not good. But the starters for this team have been carrying like absolute crazy madmen. And in my opinion, Gershon Yabusele, so disappointing. Jordan Clarkson, so disappointing. Had a good cup final game, but has been so disappointing. And then finally, I want to shout out brand new head coach of the New York Knicks, Mike Brown. He has brought in a completely new style of offense where this Knicks offense just looks way more fluid. It looks way more fluid. You see Jalen Brunson not having to hold the ball as much, and players are moving around constantly. The ball is shared a hell of a lot more. And he's not running his players into the ground like Tom Thibodeau was, where like every single starter on the Knicks last season led the league in total minutes played. But yeah, the New York Knicks have overall looked so much better since their 2-3 start. And in my opinion, the New York Knicks are now the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. The Cavaliers have been awful. See you later, Cleveland. This is now New York's conference. But that is all from me in this one. Let me know what you guys think about the New York Knicks down in the comment section below. And if you agree with them now being the new favorites to make the NBA Finals out east. But yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.